Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be taking you through a developer journey that shows you how to use Apache Spark SQL to access Apache HBase tables. As usual, this journey is available on GitHub at github.com/IBM/Spark SQL for HBase. First, some background. Spark is an open source big data processing engine that is built for speed, ease of use, and sophisticated analytics. HBase is a very popular open source NoSQL distributed database that runs on top of the Hadoop distributed file system, or HDFS. Like Spark, HBase is built for fast processing of large amounts of data. Spark plus HBase has become a very popular solution for handling big data applications. But unfortunately, HBase lacks native SQL support and has a very primitive access mechanism using client-side Java APIs. Not a good option if you want to manage and access your data with SQL. This journey is about an alternative approach to handle this, which is HSpark, a Spark connector tool that enables Spark SQL commands to be executed against an HBase data store. This journey will walk you through all the required setup, which includes Apache Spark, Apache HBase, and the HSpark connector. If you look through the README, you can get all the details on how to set up your environment with all the proper supported versions. First, we're going to install Apache Spark, version 2.2.0. You can grab this version from the download link. A pretty straightforward installation. Just make sure you set your Spark home env variable. Next, we install the Apache HBase database, version 1.2.4. You can also grab this version from the download link. If you go to the install guide, you can see that there's a little work involved with configuring it in standalone mode. Basically, you need to edit a file, a configuration file, and set up your directory locations. I'll quickly show the contents of what the file looks like here. Basically, you just need to make sure that the local directories exist on your system. Once you set your HBase home env variable, you can start it with this command. Once started, you can check that it's up and running by going to this link, which we go to now. And as you can see, it's running with no issues. Our last install will be the HSpark connector. And for this piece, you'll need to download and build it. All the instructions are included here. And remember to set these variables in your environment. Now that everything is installed, we can start up the HSpark shell. This is the interface that we will use to get SQL access to our backend HBase data store. And I'll start that up now. As you can see, it's now running, and we'll come back to this in just a second. In order to demonstrate the capabilities of HSpark, we will be building tables defined by TPCDS, which is an industry standard benchmark for measuring the performance of big data systems. We're using these tables and data because they're well defined and tested. We won't be necessarily focusing on any of the performance metrics for this journey. Here is the schema for TPCDS tables that we will be creating. This is just a small sample of the tables available, but it does contain some complex table associations. The SQL table creation commands that we will be using are all available in the scripts folder in the create_table.txt file. If you open up this file, you can see that the commands are all shown in an easy to read format, along with an actual one-line command that you can easily cut and paste into your HBark shell. So we'll go ahead and cut and paste that and enter that command. Once that's complete, now we'll repeat that for the other 4 table creation commands. Once the tables are built, we then need to import some data. This section here in the README shows the proper syntax for the load data command. Basically, it requires a CSV data file to import. For this, we have a sample file in the data folder that we will use. We just need to cut and paste the command into our shell, then substitute in the absolute path to the data file, and then execute it. So go ahead and cut and paste and move that into the shell. And then put in our absolute path. Now we're finally ready to query the data. There are some sample queries available in the scripts folder. In the query_table.txt file. Here you can see the commands as well as their expected results. I'll do a couple of these queries now. First, if I select count from the store sales table, I should get a count of 100. Which I do. If I look for some data on a specific item was sold, I should get these values. Which I do, so it looks like everything's working correctly. So what we've just done is successfully perform SQL commands to create tables, load and query data. And remember, this was all run on a NoSQL HBase data store. So if you're looking for an option to leverage the power of Spark SQL and the growing popularity of HBase, HSpark is a great solution. In closing, I do want to mention that you can also use HSpark programmatically. To find out how, please go to the HSpark public repo and take a look. In the source/test folder, there are a couple of example programs you can explore, one in Java and the other in Scala. So with that, I think I'll wrap up this demo. Hopefully you'll get a chance to download and run this journey on your own. Thanks again for your time.